One thing a lot of breastfeeding moms don't know is that chiropractic care can actually help with your milk supply. I'm really excited to share this with you because it's kind of one of those unsung heroes about chiropractic, breastfeeding, and milk supply. So let's dig in. Let's talk about how this works and how chiropractic can help you on your breastfeeding journey. So many moms assume that low supply is either like a nutritional problem, a problem they have with their breasts, or something wrong with them. But this is not always the case. It is actually quite complicated. So there's definitely a nutrition component, there's a hydration component, there's a supply and demand component, there's a nervous system component, and there's a nerve supply component. So let's talk about all these things and how you can improve your milk supply at home with the things that you can do at home, and then what chiropractic can do for you from that aspect as well. So the initial foundations for milk production are simple in that you need to have enough calories, right? So typically we hear you need an extra 200 calories while you're pregnant, but you need an extra 400 calories while you are breastfeeding. And a lot of that weight that you put on your hips and your butt while you're pregnant is used for supply in breastfeeding. So having that store, so to speak, is a good thing. I know a lot of moms will feel like they want to bounce back and they want it to go away, but that's your body ensuring that you will have enough milk for your baby. So don't hate on the extra weight gain. Um, it is there for your baby. Another really important thing is enough protein. So having those building blocks available to build milk, and then hydration. So our glands that produce milk are actually modified sweat glands. So they use a lot of water, and that is required to make milk. You got to be hydrated. So I will tell moms really go for a gallon plus of water a day. Add in your electrolyte packets. Two of them a day is totally fine, especially if it's hot out or your baby's going through a growth spurt, so that you can make milk and not have it steal from your body. A stable blood sugar is really important too. So we'll often hear the term insufficient glandular tissue. That is usually insulin sensitivity and blood sugar problem. So this is going to stem from way before you've gotten pregnant, but we can do all of these blood sugar regulation techniques in our breastfeeding journey to help produce more milk. And that's going to include your protein and your hydration. And then quality sleep. So easier said than done when you have an infant at home, right? Well, that is totally understandable, but it's really important that when you can sleep, you do. So if you're having difficulty with insomnia, you're not falling asleep when your baby's asleep, you're having anxiety, following up with a care provider about those things. Chiropractic can help your body relax and get better sleep as well. And then just having that understanding that breastfeeding is metabolically demanding. So it uses a lot of resources. You need to be eating a ton of protein, drinking your water, getting good sleep, and having high nutrient density foods. So there are absolutely those things that most of us know, but there are things that get missed. So, mineral status, are you remineralizing now that you're postpartum? Because your body uses up a bunch of minerals while you're pregnant, staying hydrated and recovering after birth. And being undernourished is not going to show up just as low milk supply. It's going to be fatigue. It's going to be decreased patience. It's going to be just not feeling like yourself. And really being undernourished as a mom is going to make postpartum and breastfeeding very difficult. So we need to check in on those things and make sure that your nutrition status is where it should be. Now, how can chiropractic help? So, interestingly enough, the nerves that influence breast tissue come from the mid to upper back and run along the ribs. So, if you have a misalignment in your mid to upper back, which is really common to have happen during pregnancy and then when you're looking down and holding your baby. And if you have a rib out, so sometimes like you'll get like shooting pain around your ribs, that can really influence your body's ability to regulate that tissue and produce milk. We also know that these tension patterns and subluxations impact not only the communication between your brain and your body, but also your body's fight or flight, rest and digest response. So, milk production and letdown is stimulated by oxytocin, which is the love hormone, and our body needs to be in a relaxed state to have a full and proper response to these hormones to produce milk. So, if your body is stuck in fight or flight, go, go, go all the time, foot on the gas pedal, it is harder to get a good letdown. So, especially if you're pumping and trying to get what your baby needs through pumping, which will happen if you have low supply, usually you'll pump after you feed your baby. Um, if you're not relaxed, if you are stressed to the max, wired, unable to calm down, unable to rest, you're going to have a hard time with breastfeeding. So, chiropractic really helps balance our autonomic nervous system, bring us into rest and digest, bring us into a balanced state so that we can relax and have a more successful breastfeeding journey, but then also a more enjoyable one. So, those practical steps, those things that you're going to do at home is focus on your hydration with your electrolytes, get your protein at every meal, blood sugar balance. So, I talk about this in some other videos, but that's going to be eating complex carbs with proteins and fats, walking after meals, and lowering stress levels, and then also consistent nourishment. So, don't skip a meal. It can be really hard when you're caring for a newborn, but making sure you're getting your calories and your nutrients that you need to produce milk and take care of yourself so that you can be the best that you can be for your baby. If you're doing all these things and it's not helping, definitely reach out to lactation. Come see your pediatric chiropractor, evaluate baby's latch, and then evaluate your nervous system as well at your chiropractor. Your lactation consultant is going to help with the latch, with feeding frequency, with pumping advice, with nutrition, any supplements that might help. And I have some like key supplements that I recommend for moms who have low supply or high lactase or other things that is impacting their breastfeeding journey. So, always happy to help and help assess your nervous system, help assess your baby, and look at your nutrition, your supplements, and find you a referral. So, absolutely reach out, get professional help with your certified lactation consultant and your pediatric chiropractor, and let's get you on the road to an adequate milk supply so you can feed your baby. Stop pumping if you want to stop pumping and avoid formula if you want to avoid formula. Can't wait to see you.